Very excited to be joined in studio by our boy Erik Sabrowski, Cleveland Guardians pitcher. What's up? How's it going? Welcome back home to Edmonton.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
So you did the drive back from Cleveland.
I did, yeah.
So what was the path like? How did it take you?
So Renee, my fiance, she works. She does an online teaching job in the evening, so that kind of made it a little longer. We did, 3 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours.
Golfed on the way?
We golfed 3 times in Wisconsin and North Dakota. And then, 10 hours from Grand Forks to Saskatoon. That was a bit of a grind. And then, then we only have 4 hours home. So it was nice. Made it home Saturday afternoon.
Nice. And you're back in the city. Have you been to an Oilers game, or when's the first Oilers game scheduled for you?
Sunday in Calgary.
Sunday in Calgary.
You're driving again.
Yes, driving again. It's actually my bachelor party weekend, so we're going out for that.
Oh, not bad. First home game back. So Liam and I, last year we went to bat for Fernando because during the playoffs, remember, they put Fernando on the big screen, but they didn't play a highlight reel for him.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And we had Fernando on the show and we were like, hey, man, we'll fight for you. We'll make sure next time not that we have any pull, but we'll make sure next time you get one. Your first Oilers game, they got to put you on the big screen, right?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I think we got a few things in the works.
I like that.
Oh,
I like that's good. That's a good tease.
Yeah.
Obviously season ended about 10 days ago, but I wanted to go back a little bit further than that because you did give your first interview since your call up to Gregor, which we're not going to hold against you for giving it to Gregor over
the first one to call. I mean, you didn't. So.
I didn't want to bug you. I felt bad bugging you. And then Connor was like, hey, I'm going to reach out to him. And I was like, damn it, he beat me to it. Son of a bitch. But I want to go back to the call-up moment because we obviously had you on the show back in July when you were still down in AAA. But what was the moment like when you got the call up to the majors?
It was probably the opposite of how people dream about it. You think you're going to get called into the manager's office and come out and the team's all excited for you. But me and Renee were in a hotel room in Gwinnett, Georgia. And my manager called me at like 12 a.m. and just said, pack your shit, you're going to the big leagues. And so that was awesome. It was super exciting. Then his next words were, the car's going to pick you up at 3.
Oh my God.
AM?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm in the
no way you're sleeping.
I slept for an hour in the airport. And that is it. On the floor, she's got a great picture of me just laying in the middle of the, in between some seats with a sweater over my head, just passed out on the floor.
That is unbelievable. So you get the call at midnight, cars coming at 3. So then to the airport and you flew and met the team. So like that whole 24 hours must have just been insane.
Yeah, it was long and quick, depending on how you look at it. Yeah, because then we had a 1:00 game in Cleveland. So it was a very quick turnaround.
What was the call like to your family to let them know?
Oh, it was amazing. Both my mom and my dad were wondering why I was calling them at midnight Eastern. So
2 a.m. Edmonton, or no, sorry, the other way.
10.
Yeah,
10.
10.
I don't normally call my parents at 10 p.m. So they were wondering why I was calling them. But my mom said actually on an interview the other day. So I FaceTimed her, and when she answered, I had this big smile on my face, and she knew exactly what was going on.
Man, that is so cool. Yeah. And I know, again, this is something that your manager, Stephen Vogt, talked about. I think it was right at the end of the regular season about you, but you got called up and then you had to sit in the bullpen for a while. I mean, I was sitting there, I put my alerts on. So anytime you were warming up, I was like, oh. Yeah. But you had to sit and wait for so long. That must have just been driving you nuts.
It was, I did my best to make sure it didn't. Okay. I knew eventually my time was going to come. There's no playbook for not pitching for 11 or 12 days, whatever it was. But I just, like I said, I knew my time was going to come, tried to do my best to stay ready with, my workouts and my throwing. And just, I knew that once the moment was going to happen, adrenaline was going to take me through it. And fortunately it did.
So I'm just trying to remember. I'm a baseball fan to an extent. That first game, we had it on the TV here, right?
The first game when you got called up, because you did warm up in that first one. Yeah,
I was gonna say, so you got the call at midnight that night, got picked up at 3 a.m. What time did you get to Cleveland that day?
I think it was about 7:38.
Okay, and then you had a game at 1.
Yeah.
When you were pitching, you were like, man, I'm so tired. I hope I actually don't go in right now. Maybe tomorrow.
No way.
Just being like, this is great, but maybe tomorrow could be awesome.
I don't know you well, Liam, but that, from what I do know about you, that is the perfect mindset there. No, man, I was fired up to get in a big league game.
Fair enough.
And then when I think we were down by a few, normal rookie territory when they're down. And we scored a few runs. I was like, damn it. No, maybe not today. And yeah, then I didn't warm up for a few more days.
You know
I like
what's
the mindset of like, fuck, I slept like shit. I don't want to work today.
Well, you don't want to go in and then like, you know, you're tired. Maybe it doesn't go as well. You get a couple of days and it obviously worked out great.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that, because that's exactly what Tyler was saying whilst we were here. Like, they're down by a few. This might be his time to go in. And you're like, damn it, they started scoring.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out.
Obviously, I'm happy we scored.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for personal reasons.
When you did get into your first game, first pitch, I know you were laughing about it with the reporters at the game,
Oh, yeah.
right to the backstop.
I was a little excited.
Yeah, what was going when that one sails? Did that rattle you, or did it almost like calm you down? I mean, like, okay, got that out of the way.
No, it weirdly calmed me down because I got the next ball and kind of gathered my thoughts, and I had a little chuckle with myself and was like, how cool is this? Like, I just threw my first pitch off the backstop. Like, how cool of a story will it be, if I end up striking this guy out? And then the next two weren't strikes. And that's when it was a little more of like, okay, you've done this before. It's, it's the same game, just on a bigger scale. And I was lucky enough to strike him out.
Fight back, strike him out. It was something to watch too.
Yeah.
And I think, this is the video of you striking out Yuli Gurriel, nice and fired up as well.
Yeah.
I feel like as a reliever, you get way more leeway to be fired up too. Like, and I know
think
you
so,
showed
yeah.
it a little bit, and that's your debut. But like, I feel like any situation, if you're a reliever who goes way over the top, you're just endearing yourself to the fans.
A little bit, yeah, but you're also giving the other team a reason to maybe hate you a little more. And so there's a fine line between, being excited for yourself and maybe showing up the opponents. And that's something you want to toe.
That is also fair. A handful of other things that I want to go through with you, but you mentioned like that first time you're warming up, you're like prime rookie territory. You either want to be up by a bunch or down by a bunch, but that's usually where you get in. You did not stay in prime rookie territory as a reliever for very long. By the end of the month of September, like they were putting you in spots where guy on second, you're coming in. You were coming in close ball games. How did that feel? And like, I know you're a confident guy, but did that spark anything you in the sense of like, oh shit, I belong here?
Well, there's no greater confidence boost than getting called up to the big leagues. So that was great for me in that moment. I'd thrown in some big situations in AAA, so runners on base, close games wasn't too foreign for me. And then it was just, doing what I thought I was capable of and throwing well. And I knew if, I kept throwing well, I'd be thrown into the fire a little more. And I'm very glad it worked out and I did all right.
Obviously, what did you play? 8 games in the regular season and the playoffs game. Is there a stadium you're excited to pitch in next season?
Oh, that's a good one.
Toronto. Hopefully I get to go there. Boston. Some of the older stadiums for sure. Yeah, probably Toronto. Just being a Canadian kid, grew up rooting for them, and watched a lot of baseball games there.
Yeah.
You also got to pitch in a playoff game at Yankee Stadium. Like, what is that like coming out of the bullpen, the lights at night? Like, that whole spectacle must have been crazy. Was it difficult for you to like, hey, keep everything down, like you're good, like stay composed?
So my second outing was at Dodger Stadium in the regular season. And it was a Saturday night and there's 50,000 people there. So I think that did a good job of preparing me for the playoffs. And then even the first round against Detroit, I pitched there and, there's 40,000 people there and Detroit hadn't had playoff baseball in a while. So those fans were loud and ready to go. So I think there's some baby steps to get up to the Yankee Stadium, experience. Funny story from there. When the game starts, the bullpen walks out to the bullpen. We don't take a tunnel or anything. And in Yankee Stadium, it's like they have it down to science where it's only the road bullpen walking out at a certain time. And, we got booed by 40,000 people and it was amazing. It was so cool. Like to be, like you said, at Yankee Stadium and, having all those people boo, not just me, the other guys, but being part of the group that was being booed. I thought it was awesome. Right before we got to the bullpen, made eye contact with a fan and got flipped off like 30 seconds, like staring right into my soul, flipping me off, and just things that make you laugh. And I heard you talking about the guys last night. And,
I was gonna say, was it him?
Sometimes it might have been. Sometimes the stereotypes do fit very well, and they're passionate. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, you answered my next one, which was, did any Yankees fans do wild shit to you? But staring at you and flipping you off, and you're like, bro, you want to flip off Classy or something?
Yeah.
Why are you mad at me?
No, I was honored. Really, I was honored. I was like, hey, I've kind of made it, haven't I?
Yeah.
Was there a moment when you got to the big leagues where something happened you didn't expect it, or you like not even just on the field, but like off the field, but like, oh, this is what it's kind of like?
The amount of food we get.
Yeah.
The amount of food. There's always food. It's fantastic food. Whether we get on the plane, show up to the locker room, pregame, postgame. I think at one point I ate a ribeye for like 12 days straight. You know, they always tell you when you come up, like, be careful with the food. You might throw on a few pounds. I threw on a few pounds, but you know, it was winter, you know, got to stay warm.
Yeah.
As Beg Milk says.
Yeah, you gotta bulk up a little bit. That's not bad. I always like hearing the stories of the young player coming up and, you know, whatever vets are there to help them. Was there anyone in the Guardians bullpen or just in the clubhouse in general who kind of really threw a hand out to you in this whole thing?
Oh man, I'm so lucky to have some of the vets that we did have on our team, in Josh Naylor, Austin Hedges, Alex
Canadian
Cobb.
kids too.
Yeah, Alex Cobb and Matt Boyd. Cobb especially. Before our first game of the playoffs, I walked up to his locker and, you know, sorry to bother you, Mr. Cobb, but do you have any words of advice for me? And he's just like, man, it's the same game. You're going to be way more excited. There's going to be more people in the stands, but in the end, it's the same game. Don't try and be someone you're not. Don't try and do something you can't do. Just make sure your body's moving in the right way, and the rest will take care of itself.
I don't want this to come off weird, but I think about, like, from our experiences, you know, when we went to the Cup final, we did media day, and it's like, hey, you're standing in the McDavid scrum, and there's like Friedman and there's all the big dogs. And I'm like, okay, like, we're the two idiots from Edmonton. Like, we probably shouldn't be here. But you mentioned, like, going up to Alex Cobb being like, hey, Mr. Cobb, like, you're in the same clubhouse as those guys. Yeah. You are a major leaguer just like them. But do you fight with and I don't want this to be the wrong word, but like imposter syndrome, where you walk around and it's like, man, like, that's Jose Ramirez, that's Alex Cobb. These are guys who have been in the majors, been stars. Like,
yes, absolutely.
It's tough to get over that, right?
Like another idiot from Edmonton just happened to make it to the big leagues. And like, yeah, man, you know, some of the injuries I went through, I, you know, at one point thought I might not ever make it there. And so just being so thankful for the time that I have up there. No one knows how long it's going to be, but just trying to take advantage of it and really taking the sights. And yeah, like shaking hands with Jose Ramirez after a win. Funny, another Jose Ramirez story. I threw the 9th inning against the White Sox, and the last out was a missile hit right at him. And in the handshake line, he looks right at me and goes, "Don't let them hit the ball that hard at me. Don't do that." I was like, sorry, I won't do it again. Like, okay, I'll strike the guy out next time. But
he's probably kidding, but
he's
like,
obviously joking. But yeah, like, it's like, yeah, at the time, is he joking or am I in trouble? Things like that. Like, because, you know, that guy's the face of the franchise, has been and will be, and that's a really cool guy to share a locker room with.
And if the ball gets hard at him and it comes up on him, he gets hurt. That's on you, dog.
Exactly. So all the hard hit balls were hit to the outfield from there on.
What's Steven Vogt like as a manager? He seems like the quintessential players manager just from watching the interviews.
Yeah, well, he was a player 2 years ago.
So like, it's wild that, like, yeah, he was an A like 3 seasons ago.
He's the catcher, right?
Yeah,
there you go, Liam.
Yeah,
he was an all-star.
He was.
Yes,
I think a couple times. Yeah, and
thanks, Liam.
And you know, baseball has there's a skill set for a guy like Vogt who I'm sure would like to be a little bit more productive offensively, but they're unreal guys in the clubhouse. They're a catcher, which is a premium position. Like, I think of Austin Hedges as being like that. Like, you know, you might not always get the production you want, but there's so much behind the scenes that he does. Like, Hedges runs all of our scouting reports and make sure everyone's feeling good and ready to go and knows what they have to do. And I think Vogt was the perfect choice for that job. We have a young team. He's a young manager. You know, we're kind of all learning at the same time, and his messages to the team were really good.
I guess sort of one of the final few ones I have for you, and we're actually going to flip this because the World Series is still going on right now. Have you been paying attention to it at all, or are you one of the guys like season end, you're like, I'm done, I'm not watching baseball?
I've been watching.
Yeah, okay, well, let's get into it quickly. It's our other sports report brought to you by our friends at Bet365, largest sports betting platform globally. You can download the app today and use the promo code NATION. That is NATION, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. The Yankees stave off elimination last night. for you in that series. The broadcast gave you the moniker of you were the Juan Soto guy. You were on Juan Soto duty. You went toe-to-toe with the best hitter, one of the best hitters in the majors a handful of times, and you got him. Like,
that was so much fun.
Yeah?
So much fun. Like, Juan Soto, Yankee Stadium.
Doing the Soto shuffle back at you.
Yeah, I think that can be a little tired, but that's a great player. And it's a guy you don't want to beat you. I mean, you don't want anyone to beat you, but if you're going to go up against anyone and win, you want it to be Juan Soto. That was awesome.
So what I like about this World Series matchup, as much as I hate that the Guardians are not a part of it, is we can ask you the question because you went toe-to-toe against Freeman and Ohtani, and you went toe-to-toe against the Yankees guys. Which one was tougher to get through? Which one had you shaking a little bit more? Who gave you the better fight?
Well, I think the Yankees did a little bit better against me than the Dodgers guys did, but Ohtani, his presence in the box is otherworldly. Like, Aaron Judge is huge, but he's just a big person in the box. Ohtani felt like he was 10 feet tall. Like, just with the numbers he was putting up at the time, when he comes up to bat at Dodger Stadium, it's like they hit a walk-off home run, how excited the crowd is. And you really, sometimes loud is loud when you're on the mound, but like you noticed at Dodger Stadium when he came up, it's like, this is the next level. And so, I enjoyed facing all of them, but I think my time facing Freeman and Ohtani was probably, I look back, a little more favorable.
Yeah, and Freddie Freeman is just on fire right now,
Did
too.
you get one last night?
Yeah, he hit another one. First inning.
What? First,
Yeah,
nice.
watching him hit all these home runs off left-handed fastballs, it's making me feel good that I managed to sneak one by him.
That is, absolutely a great point as well. So what's the winter look like for you? Are you going to stay in Edmonton the whole time, keep working with the guys you've kind of always worked with?
Yeah, I'll be here till sometime in January, I guess, still working at AHP in St. Albert and, trying to build a base for another good season.
Still working with Taylor Burns.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it is cool as well. Like, I mean, you went through two major surgeries. Like you talked about, you didn't know if you'd ever get back to that point. Did you have any moment of like, hey, maybe I should stay in the States, find something there? Or was it always just no doubt you want to come back to Edmonton, keep working with these guys?
No, I'll always be around Edmonton. It's my home. I love it. It's where the Oilers play. It's all my family's from here. It's you can't beat home, right? And Edmonton's my home.
Selfish question. Do you think you'll keep the number 62?
I'll take whatever number they give me. It's the number in the big leagues, man. But probably.
Tyler got a jersey for his birthday?
You did.
I did. My
That is
fiance
awesome.
Amber, but I haven't gotten it stitched yet because I
Okay.
wanted to make sure you're going to keep 62. And Chalmers said I'm a loser for doing it.
I think you're doing just fine.
Thank
Listen
you.
to Chalmers.
Go to hell, Chalmers.
Another one of his bad takes.
I have a final question, unless you have more.
No, I'm good, Liam. You can ask the last one.
I hope this is right.
Yeah, this could go one of 100 ways.
You hit a home run against the Swift Current 57s for the Edmonton Prospects in the playoffs.
Yes.
I was behind home plate that night.
And I was doing play-by-play for that
Can you
game.
walk me through the moment, if you remember anything? Because that was the only home run besides Jay until this season I have seen at that stadium. And I was like, this is
Besides Jay. Wow.
Yeah, up
Lofty
until
territory.
yeah. So
I've got
you
highlights of him striking out Judge, Stanton.
Yeah,
that
and,
one
you go. Last question: a home run against Swift Current
Wow.
6 years ago.
People want the deep stuff.
You're going to be amazed by how much I remember about that. I don't remember the pitcher's name, but I remember our scouting report on him was 50-50 fastball slider.
Mhm.
And so if you saw the ball start in a certain place, you'd take it because it would be a slider that go away.
Okay.
And if you saw it start in a different spot, you knew it was going to be a fastball. And I swung at two sliders that started exactly where they said not to swing. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm pretty sure that's how it went. And then thankfully he threw me a fastball and he found my barrel and managed to get out. That's a big park. I played in a lot of baseball stadiums.
Yeah.
That is a big park.
And the difference between you and Jay is Jay was out of the batter's box when he hit.
Well, yeah. So if you
Was
see,
he?
see Jay out there, so we did his whole. He wanted to hit a home run.
right.
We did it for like an hour and a half, and he was not hitting it. So the problem was he kept hitting it to center field.
Yeah,
So we moved where the pitcher was throwing from and angled him differently so that his far ones were going right down the line. So if he tries to flex on you, you can throw that back at him.
Well,
It's
his has an asterisk. That's
it
fine.
does. Yeah, it's
That's
Mickey
fine.
Mouse. Mickey Mouse shit.
It's honestly I'm not joking. That is one of my favorite baseball moments. Like being
Jay's home run or
No,
Eric's home run?
Like, that was cool because I don't know.
Thank you.
It was awesome. To
We
be
all
there.
thought we were going to win the series then. And unfortunately, we didn't. But,
No,
you know,
yeah.
at the time, it was awesome.
It was cool. I didn't want to
Way
bring it up
too
that
excited
far,
going around the bases.
Are you one of those sicko athletes who has like the photographic memory? Like if I asked you about an at bat in AAA from May of this year, would you be like, yeah, okay, I can tell you everything that happened?
I don't know. You want
Maybe.
to try it?
I mean, we have. Oh man, I have your game
have
logs
time.
open right here. Like, there's no doubt you remember all of your MLB stuff. Like, if I were to ask you again, the September 12th against the Rays, like you pitched an inning in a third, you struck out 2 batters. Who were they?
Oh man, they were Taylor Walls and Christian Morel.
That's solid. But if we were to go to, I have to go to your AAA game logs. Luckily, they all pop up very quickly here on my
Some might be
computer.
tougher.
What was your last AAA at bat or last AAA batter you faced? What happened?
Was it a slider to Henry Davis that he flew out to left?
Yeah, you pitched an inning in a third, and that was the last batter you faced.
Oh,
Okay, that is impressive.
I won't always have the names, but
Yeah.
I can remember, batting stances and maybe the sequence.
Also, yeah, no, that is really, really good. All right. Okay, I think we'll
Glad
wrap
that
up.
worked out.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was triple checking it there at the end. And it was like, oh yeah, no, you did nail that. Wrap up with an Oilers one. How worried are we about no McDavid? It is kind of sick that you come back and now you don't get to watch Connor
I know,
McDavid.
that part hurts. We do this every year where we're kind of, lukewarm to start the season, lose some games we shouldn't, win some games we shouldn't. Him being out makes it a lot tougher, but I think with this team, just get into the playoffs. The division standings don't matter. Just get in. You're going to have to play the hard teams eventually anyways that we've seen. So I think they're fine. More than fine.
I think they're gonna be fine too. 5-5-1 in the 11 games without McDavid. Let's just get through that heater after that.
3-2.
That math adds up.
Yeah.
That's 11 games.
Awesome.
Okay, I
Why
feel
not
that.
try and go 11-0?
Why not? They went 16-0 last year.
Listen, I've got myself in hot water saying chili before. If they go 11-0,
You
I'll
heard it here first.
eat.
Cat food.
Oh.
Come on.
Take a
Nah.
fastball from Eric to the ribs.
No, oh my god! If I had to, listen, I hated my cat food. If I had to pick, it's cat food over the fastball, without a doubt. That is an absolute non-starter. Would you rather eat cat food or not breathe for a week?
What's better content, Tyler?
I actually think the people might argue with you on that one a little bit. They might want the cat food. Really appreciate your time, man. This was a lot of fun. Welcome back home. Great job throughout the season. We look forward to seeing what you can do going forward.
Thank you. And congrats on the fantasy football win.
Oh, yeah. So that's the other thing, too. This is going to go forever, but thankfully there's no rules. Your MLB debut was happening while the Nation Fantasy Draft was live, which
Correct.
was hilarious because I was in another fantasy draft at the time. So I had laptop open, fantasy draft 1, iPad going fantasy draft 2, and then I had Eric pitching in the majors here while Eric's auto drafting in this fantasy league. That was hilarious, but you ended up getting Jaden Daniels, so it worked out.
Did me well.
Oh, nice.
Did me very well.
So how soon after the game did you remember, like, oh, I had a draft? Like,
Probably on the bus ride to the airport. And I looked at my team, and when I saw it, I was like, shit, these guys suck.
I think you had like 5 quarterbacks.
Shows you how much I know. Yeah, we had 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Only one of them was a starter and 2 kickers. So shout out auto draft.
Yeah, it ended up working out for you. Okay. What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.